Alright, hi guys, my name is Tani Umetsu, and this is my video presentation 5, Activism Through Social Media. And I'm going to be talking about a really specific example of this, which is Stop Asian Hate. As you can see, this is a topic that involves me in at least a little bit. So this movement started around the time when COVID-19 was getting more known in the US especially. A lot of people were going around blaming Asians, saying that it originated in China and that it was because these people, and you've heard all the things like, oh, they're monkeys or whatever it is. And this started to spark a lot of hate crimes throughout the world, but especially in New York, in the US, and in the rest of the US as well. You would hear stories of people getting mobbed and beaten up just on the streets just because they were some type of Asian. And also this movement is also known as Stop AAPI Hate, which stands for Stop Asian American and Pacific Islander Hate. So it's not just like China and Japan and Korea, it's also all Pacific Islanders as well. And social media usage during this movement involved kind of a lot of things. I would say that it's become kind of normal for a lot of artists especially to get involved. We see a lot of they kind of look like these old propaganda style pictures, but it's promoting this new message, and it is also used to organize a lot of protests, and they use hashtags to where everybody can go to learn information about the movement or any kind of event that's happening, or even just to support others who are sharing stories or their artwork. Anything to get the word out, basically. So the effectiveness of this, I would say it actually worked a lot. Although the exposure did, obviously gain a lot of supporters for the opposing side of people who were being racist and hurting a whole group of people. It did gain a lot of exposure, which got people talking, and it put a lot of pressure on governments, especially to find the real source of the COVID-19 strain, as well as a lot of government officials. They were kind of forced to talk about it and choose a side. Notably, there's Kathy Hochul, I think is how to pronounce it, who was the governor of New York, and New York, since they were kind of at the epicenter of the U.S. part of this hate crime, a lot of it, they had to release a bunch of statements like this one saying that, well, you shouldn't be hate criming people, and to call or help if you can see anything that's happening. So as for steps in this movement, I think everything was involved in this. For social currency, since it was such a big thing, as it involved like literally whole nationalities and ethnicities, it was a very big thing with the news and media, so influencers, news stations, everyone kind of at least knew about it, knew what was going on. A lot of people talked about it, whether it was because they actually held that kind of topic deep in their hearts, or because they just wanted to show support so that they could avoid being canceled. Either way, it gained a lot of attention towards it as well. Triggers is the next one. Mostly this involved hashtags involving the hate and racism that was going on. So those are trigger words on top of the hashtags. And this also helped with the next one, which is emotion. So a lot of people were getting hurt verbally or physically during this time, and it could get a lot of sympathy or even fear from Asians and Pacific Islanders. And yeah, just anything to get people talking about it and make them feel like, oh, I want to help. I want to do something for this movement. So yeah, this goes into the next one as well. So public, this involves protests. In real life, there was also a bunch of online presence where people would do like talk shows or podcasts or anything like that, just to talk about either their experience or just in general to let people know like this is happening and this is like really big and a lot of people are getting hurt. And so yeah, stories as well, people sharing their stories. It was a really interesting time. I remember hearing about lots of people getting, like, even there was this one story in New York. It was like this really old man. I think he was around 85 or something in New York, and it was on the news, and he had just gotten beat up almost to death from a bunch of people who were just picked him out just because he was Asian. So yeah, it was a really interesting time, but I think it really did help that all of these steps were involved in the movement, to get the word out, and it really helped eventually with not only this but stopping or bringing awareness to racism in general, even further from just Asians. And yeah, that's going to be my presentation for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.